What if I told you that somewhere in the Nevada desert, in the Pentagon's back rooms, and buried inside budget documents most Americans will never read, the US government has spent more money than entire countries are worth on machines, on weapons, on projects so expensive, so secretive, that even the generals who approved them lost track of the final bill. We're not talking millions. We're not even talking billions. We're talking about a number so large, it took the United States government decades just to admit how big it had gotten. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most expensive military projects in American history. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why one of them, right now, is quietly on track to become the single most expensive object ever built by human beings. Stick around. The final number will shock you. The Manhattan Project. Let's go back to the beginning, to the project that started it all. In the early 1940s, in absolute secrecy, the United States poured the equivalent of roughly $30 billion in today's money into a single goal: build the atomic bomb before anyone else could. Entire cities were constructed from nothing. Oak Ridge, Los Alamos, Hanford, populated by scientists and workers who, in many cases, didn't even know what they were building. Congress itself didn't know. Most of the vice president didn't know. And it worked. It changed warfare and the world forever. But here's the unsettling part. The Manhattan Project set a precedent. It proved that if the stakes were high enough, the American government would spend whatever it took, hide it from the public, and justify it later. That precedent never really went away.
Before we go any further, if you're hooked on uncovering the truth, drop a like and smash subscribe. It helps us expose the stories they tried to bury. Now, back to the video.
The USS Zumwalt class destroyers. Fast forward to the 2000s. The Navy wanted a stealth destroyer, a ship so advanced, so radar invisible, it would redefine naval warfare. They called it the Zumwalt class. The plan was to build over 30 of these ships. In the end, the Navy built just 3. Why? Because the cost per ship spiraled to roughly $8 billion each for a program originally meant to be affordable at scale. The advanced gun system built for the ship turned out to be so expensive to fire that the ammunition itself was scrapped. A multi-billion-dollar warship that couldn't afford to shoot its own weapon. The B-2 Spirit, the stealth bomber, shaped like a shadow, designed to slip past enemy radar undetected. Only 21 were ever built. Each one costs an estimated over $2 billion, making it, adjusted for its size, one of the most expensive aircraft ever constructed. Some estimates put the total program cost, once you include research, development, and infrastructure, north of $40 billion for those 21 planes alone. $2 billion for one aircraft. And the Air Force built an entire climate-controlled hangar system just to protect the plane's stealth coating from humidity. So here's a question I want you to sit with for a second. At what point does national security stop being the reason and start being the excuse? Every project we've covered so far was justified as essential, necessary, non-negotiable. But when the price tags keep climbing into the tens of billions, hundreds of billions, for weapons that sometimes barely get used, who's actually accountable? I want you to think about that, because what's coming next will make everything we just discussed look like pocket change. The USS Gerald R. Ford class carriers. The Navy's newest aircraft carrier, the Gerald R. Ford class, was supposed to be the future of American sea power. Electromagnetic launch systems, reduced crew requirements, cutting-edge automation. The lead ship alone, the USS Gerald R. Ford, ended up costing around $13.3 billion to build. And that's before you factor in the research and development that went into designing the whole class. Add up the full program. All the ships, the technology, the decades of development, and estimates put the total cost of the Ford-class program at somewhere around $120 billion. $120 billion. For a fleet of ships that critics argue may already be vulnerable to modern missile technology before they've even all been built. And that number pales compared to what's coming next.
This is the F-35 F-35, US F-35,
US F-35, the F-35,
US F-35.
Now we arrive at the big one, the most expensive weapons program in the history of the human species, the F-35 fighter jet. When it was first proposed in the early 2000s, the Pentagon estimated the entire program, every jet, every dollar, would cost around $233 billion. That number didn't hold. By 2012, it had nearly doubled to almost $400 billion. Then more recently, government auditors revealed something almost impossible to comprehend. When you combine the cost to build the jets, over $420 billion, with the cost to operate and maintain them over the coming decades, the program's total lifetime price tag has now crossed $2 trillion. $2 trillion. That's more than the entire annual economic output of most countries on Earth. It's a number so large that the Pentagon itself had to release an official statement just to explain how it got there, pointing out the jets are now projected to fly all the way through the 2080s. Let that sink in. A weapons program approved in the early 2000s won't finish paying its bill until people alive today are in their 90s. So here's what we've uncovered. A secret desert program that built the atomic bomb, a stealth destroyer too expensive to fire its own guns, a bomber that needs a climate-controlled home, a fleet of carriers that may already be outdated, and a single fighter jet program that will, by the time it's finished, have cost more than $2 trillion of taxpayer money.
And the unsettling truth? This is only what's been made public. Classified programs, the ones we're not allowed to know about, could be hiding numbers even larger than these. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, that's exactly why I make these. Hit like, drop a comment telling me which project shocked you the most, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.